Hi, my name's Denise McCabe and I'm a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Australia on the New South Wales Central Coast, and this is my Makeup Monday for Monday the 12th of August 2024. Today I'm going to play with an online exclusive stamp set that I got just the other day. I saw a demonstrator in the US demonstrating with it and I had to have it. It wasn't on my radar, but then I just had to have it. So yeah, we're going to do that. I'm going to use some designer series paper from the annual catalogue because all the designer series paper in the annual catalogue is on sale currently, 15% off until the end of August. So let's go down to the craft desk and we can get started. Okay. So if you want to order with me, you can go to my online store at buyerstampingpassion.blogspot.com. If you click on the August host code or the Stampin' Up! Logo, it'll automatically connect the August host code to your order, and then you can shop for the designer series paper. That's 15% off. Okay, so I'm going to be using this Winter Meadow designer series paper. It carried over from last year. I don't know if you can see it. It's really beautiful paper, and it doesn't have to be Christmassy. It has Christmas in it, but you can use it for other cards as well. It is on page 101 in the annual catalogue up the top here. It's really not displayed very well, but it is beautiful paper. I've got a pack here, so we might have a look at that. So let's pop that aside. I've got what's left of my current pack. So these are the scenes that are quite Christmassy. That's just like smoky slate washed look on the back. This one's really good for Christmas. It's got like reindeers and forest trees. Just put that on a card front and a sentiment and you're done. So this is my pack that's quite cut into. I do have a new pack ready for a class. That's another piece. This is the one that you can get away with it not being Christmassy, and that's Blueberry Bushel, I think, on the back. And this is the other one. This is really nice. It's Moody Mauve with the berries on it, and that would be Lost Lagoon on the back. So as I said, the backs of the paper are like a wash. See? So you can use it on any cards, and there's only a few pieces that are, to me, definitely Christmas related. The snowy scenes, the Christmas trees, and the reindeers, but the other pieces I think you could get away with for anything. So I think it's a very universal paper pack. So that's the paper pack we're using. Okay, we also will be using the Deckled Rectangle dies and the Fern 3D embossing folder. And we're going to be using this stamp set that's in the online exclusives. It's called The Greatest Adventure. Now, I'm not overly fussed on the sentiments in the stamp set. They're good, but it was the train I had to have. As soon as I saw that train, I thought Polar Express. The movie with Tom Hanks, and I thought, I gotta have it. I know that's ridiculous to think just for one card, but I also know that it's a good masculine stamp set. Steam trains, for any train buff, are a must-have in your kit. So let me show you the first few cards I've made with this stamp. So this is the first card. So I used a Spotlight on Nature die to cut a circle window. I stamped some pine trees or fir trees in the back that was from Forever Forest. I stamped the stamp and cut it out. And this has been stamped in Garden Green. I don't know if that's showing up very well on the camera. And this is a sneak peek of a sentiment from a new stamp set that's coming. So that was my first attempt. My next attempt was a Father's Day card. I stamped the train in Cherry Cobbler, cut it out with the Countryside Corner dies. The Happy Father's Day sentiment came from the Adventurous Sky, and this paper is a sneak peek of something that's coming in the new holiday catalogue. So I really quite like that. And then this was my Polar Express card. Let me just grab it. So this is my Polar Express. So I stamped the image in Blueberry Bushel, fussy cut it out. I've cut a window with the deckled rectangle dies. I've stamped and heat embossed this Christmas sentiment, also a sneak peek from another stamp set that's coming. And I used a retired die to cut that out. So we might do that again. And I've just used the blooming pearls on the train for the lights, like the headlight, and then there's another light up here. And I've put the snowy scene, oops, sorry, that was too high. I put the snowy scene paper, designer series paper behind. So I thought we'd recreate this card, but I'm going to reverse it. So it's monochromatic, but I'm going to reverse it. I'm going to do a blueberry bushel base, a white layer, and a blueberry bushel border. So that's my plan. So let's see how we go with that plan. Okay, so what you need is a piece of blueberry bushel, A5, so 14.9 by 21 centimetres, scored at 10.5 centimetres. A piece of basic white cardstock, 14.4 by 10 centimetres. And I haven't done Imperial. Sorry, ladies, maybe I should. Let me grab my pen. Okay, so that's pretty much 5 3/4 by 4. And we've got our designer series paper and another layer of blueberry bushel, 13.9 by 9.5 centimetres, which will be 5.5 by, whoopsie, 3 3/4. I should know those off by heart, but I don't seem to remember them. My brain doesn't retain a lot of stuff. So that's all you need to start with. So let's get started. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to attach, I'll put my card base to one side. I'm going to attach my designer series paper to my white matting piece. It'll be interesting to see what it looks like in reverse, you know, with the reverse colours. So, oh, I've got another card I can show you that I've used this paper on. Let me do that. I'll just put this down and then I can show you. It's sitting here on my desk. I am going to do this other card as a video, but I just haven't had the courage to do it yet because it's quite detailed. Okay, so that's going to go like that. That will go onto our blueberry bushel base. And now we're going to cut a window in this. But this is the Winter Meadow Designer Series paper on another card, on a birthday card that I made. So it's quite beautiful. And this is called a Concertina pocket fold card. It's quite amazing. And I will probably do it for next week's Make It Monday if I've got the courage and time to cut it all up and prep it. I've used the retired tailor-made tag dies. But yeah, this is that paper, the Winter Meadow paper. And it's not a Christmas card. So, and then you just tie a bow. So that's how beautiful the paper is. So I just thought I'd show you that. And knock everything down as I put it back. Okay, so we are going to bring in our cut emboss machine. And we're going to cut this out. Just wondering whether we should stamp the sentiment first. Then we could do all our die cutting. I think that's what we'll do. So let me get, that's for our stamping. let me grab. Okay, this is a stamp set that is coming called Reindeer Fun. I'm not going to start showing you all that stuff yet because it's too soon, but I will. And I'm going to get the Merry Christmas out of this and put it on my block. And I'm going to grab Blueberry Bushel ink pad and a scrap of white cardstock. So I will stamp, because as I said, I'm sort of doing it all in reverse. So this will be stamped in Blueberry Bushel on white cardstock and then die cut out. Beautiful. I'll keep my Blueberry Bushel out because I will need that. Where is my chamois? I still feel it's too early to be thinking of Christmas. But with the mini catalogue coming out soon, I guess we really are starting to think of Christmas, aren't we? I sort of think it's a bit early. Until it's September, I think it's too early. But, you know, that's the way it goes. Okay, so now we're going to... Now that's what we need, and we need this. Okay, I'll bring my cut emboss machine in. And I shall get my retired die out again. So the die is from the Labels Aglow dies. It matched a stamp set called Brightest Glow, and I've hung on to that stamp set. So let's cut that out, and I'll show you a little trick with I don't want it as long as the die is, so I'll show you a little trick. Just cut that out. So this is the die, and it has got little holes, so I just need to clean them out because I've been a bit slack and not cleaned it out each time I've used it. That'll do. Okay, so that is going to be too long on my card. Let me show you. See, that's how long the die is, and that was just a bit too long, so I cut it down. So I'm going to put it like so on my sentiment, and I think that's pretty good. And I need my plate. I'm going to die cut. Is that straight? I'm just checking. Die cut that. And then I'm going to put this, I've done it straight, put this over it again, like so, and I'm going to shorten my die. Can you see what I'm doing? I'm just moving my die along, lining it up with what's already cut, and moving my die along a little bit to make the die a little bit shorter so that it doesn't take up as much space on my card front. And I'm clearing my throat. Sorry. I'm just trying to get this right. It worked perfectly when I did it last time, but you watch on the video, it'll fail me. Isn't that always the way? Let me... Okay, it's not going to fail me. It's going to be perfect. Okay, so let's see how we went. Not bad. And I'll just poke out my little bits down here. So that's just given us a die that's slightly shorter, but it's still got all the things we want in it. So I shall put my die there. Okay, so this is our panel that we want to cut out with the deckled rectangle. That's too big. That's not the one I want. I want the next one down. So it's number 3. The third largest is the one I'm wanting. If you have the deckled rectangle dies and you're wanting to have a play and see if you can recreate this card. So I'm just going to eyeball it, put it on, eyeball it, make sure it's straight with the same amount of space each end. I normally do my fingers. Rough line up. Okay, then I'm going to get my plate. That looks pretty good. Wind that through. Okay. So that's cut my frame out and given me a deckled rectangle, which I can put into my scrap box and use for another card. So I'll put that there. And now I'm going to grab my 3D embossing plate, take these plates off, and grab the fern embossing folder. You can use any, oh, a whole lot of stuff just fell on the floor. You can use any embossing folder. I chose the fern one because to me it gave sort of texture of being in a forest type, you know, a Christmas forest. So I am just going to pop that in my folder. And like there's not a lot to cover, but it just gives some nice texture. I'll show you in a second. Okay. So we'll get that out. Put our plates back in and lift this out of the way because I'm pretty sure I don't need it again. But sometimes I say that and then I do. Okay, let's bring everything back in. Bring our sample card back in. Okay, so we're going to bring this out of the folder and you can just see that it's got a little bit of texture on it. And this is it on the white. I don't know if you can see on the white. It just gives it a little bit of texture, which I think is really nice. And see, that's going to go over like this. I think the reverse colour, like the reversing the colours, is going to work. I think it's going to look good. Let's hope. So, okay, just score that down. So it's a landscape card, which is always nice, but I'm not going to put it on there. Okay, so next thing, let's just put that to one side. Let's bring in our piece of cardstock and our beautiful train. Isn't it gorgeous? It's a distinctive stamp, so it's got lots of detail to it. So I'm going to open my blueberry bushel up and I'm just going to ink it up upside down like so, just to make it, okay. And if it doesn't stamp perfectly the first time, we'll turn it over and do it again. Okay, and I'm not going to press down too hard. I'm just going to press it down and lift it off. And doesn't it look beautiful? Because if you press down too hard, sometimes if the ink pad is really juicy, you lose the detail here at the front of the train and the ladders here. And this little bit of detail going up in here. So that's just a little tip. Let me show you all my practices. So this was my first one, but then I stamped Happy Father's Day a little bit crooked. This is Shaded Spruce. But let me see if I can show you. Just sometimes, see, sometimes you don't get it the coverage right, and then sometimes you lose the detail. So if you ink it up and then just stamp it down, don't press it down hard, I think it's better. So these are my practices which I will turn a lot of those into cards, but for the moment I'm not going to. And I will just clean my stamp so that I don't put my arm into it. There we go. Okay. Now, the next thing we're going to do is get our paper snips. And we're going to just cut around the stamp. It's not a hard image to cut around. So we're just going to fussy cut it. But you can see on this one I just used a die. You don't have to fussy cut this train. So just bear with me while I cut out our little train. How nice is the weather warming up a little bit. It's still cool at night, but the days are starting to become beautiful and a little bit of warmth creeping in. Can't wait. We met our daughter and our son-in-law over at Terrigal this morning, and we had breakfast, which was lovely, and went for a walk. I'm not doing a very good job here. Let me just try and fix this up. There we go. Went for a walk with Rosie. So that was really nice. There were lots of people out and about with their puppy dogs walking around. I'm going to cut this off. Get rid of that. So our son and his girlfriend couldn't come down from Newcastle. They were busy doing other things. But that's okay. Everyone's is busy. Just nearly there. You don't have to get into all the nooks and crannies because you just don't have to. And if you decide you want to do it a little bit better, you can go back and get a bit more out and about. There we go. Pretty sure I just don't like this bit here. I'll just tidy that up a little bit. There we go. Okay, so that's our little train cut out. How cool is it? It's beautiful, beautiful stamp. All right, so now I'm going to put on the back of our frame, I'm going to use the foam adhesive strips because I find these are best when you're doing a frame, and I'm going to put it along the top. Now these are slightly thicker than the standard dimensionals, just slightly. Okay, and get the next one. I've got another pack if I need it. I'm just going to, hang on, there we go. So that's there, and then I'm going to, down here, and just in a fraction down, a little tiny bit more. You can use the edges on these as well, like I always say, use your edges on your normal dimensionals, don't let them go to waste. So I don't need that much, maybe that much. There we go. So that you get 40 strips. So I think you get 2 sheets of these, and they're for $14. They're really good to have, especially if you're doing framework. Okay, so now we're just gonna pull the backs off. If you're doing a lot of frames and 3D sort of projects, then the foam adhesive strips are really good for that. If you can't find them in the catalogue, just go to the online store and type in foam adhesive strips and they will come up. Okay, so I am just going to put this over my paper. So I'm just going to bring it down a little bit so I can line it up to cover up where my paper is. Sorry if my head is coming in or you can't see what I'm doing, but there you go. Okay, so now we've got like the 3D effect. Get rid of those. And now we've got our train. I'm just going to tuck that in here, like so. I really don't want to cover up my pine trees though, but that's okay. My paper was obviously in a different spot here. So I am going to put one dimensional down here, one layer down here, but up here, because the foam adhesive strips are a little bit thicker, I'm going to double dimensional this end. So it looks like the train is sort of like bursting out of the framework. Does that make sense? I hope so. Okay, so get the backs off this. So I've just put two dimensionals on top of each other, stuck them together, taken the backing off the first one and stuck the next one on, and I'm just going to tuck this in like so. Oops. Press it down. So that's like our train coming along. And this one, I'm going to, I don't want to put it down here. No, I'm sad I'm going to cover up those trees. But anyway, that's the way it goes. I'm going to put a little bit of dimension, the strip dimension, underneath the Christmas end down here. And I'm going to get my snail and just put a little bit of snail up here, because that is going to go onto the border, onto the framework. See? And then this little bit of dimensional is going to sit there. How nice is that? Okay. So that's going to go onto our card base like so. So we can do that now. So I'll bring that down again so I can get it on straight to my card base. So it's just all matted and layered together. It's not a difficult card at all. There we go. Which one do you like better, the blue or the white? Now I am going to put my gold bling, which is the Blooming Pearls, I'm pretty sure. None left on that. Here they are. So I will get my pokey tool and I will get one of these big ones for the light on the front of the train, and then one of these little ones for the light up here, and that's our card. So let me just get rid of all of this. So that is our card. All aboard the Polar Express. Which one do you like? Do you like the white card base or do you like the blue card base? I'm thinking I'm liking this one better. I don't know, I like both. They're pretty cute and quite a simple card. There's not a lot of, you know, technique really in that. Just some die cutting, some dry embossing, fussy cutting. Yeah, and that's just a clever way to make your dies.
If you want your die a little bit smaller, see I didn't want it that long, so you just shimmy it along and then cut down the other end, and then you're good to go. So these are my Polar Express cards. And here's a different one using the Greatest Adventure and another different one. So I hope you liked that. I hope you enjoyed that. As I said, it's a really good stamp set. The sentiments are lovely. It's just that they're not probably ones I will use. But the train definitely, I will use that for Father's Day cards, masculine birthday cards. Yeah. And you can use it for Christmas cards. So how cool is that? So have a look in your stash of stamps, because this Forever Forest behind, that's not a Christmas stamp set either. And see what you can combine together to create Christmas cards with what's already in your stamp collection. But yes, the mini catalogue is coming. I'll show you the cover. I can do that. I'm allowed to do that. So you should start receiving this in the next couple of weeks. If you're on my mailing list, if you come to classes, you'll be getting them at class. If you would like one, you don't have a demonstrator in Australia. Look at that. What's that from? Or in New South Wales on the Central Coast, please reach out to me. I'd love to have you as a customer, and I can put one in the mail to you. So this is the mini catalogue, September to December catalogue. It's the one that's got all the Christmas stamp sets and papers and bling. It's also got some Thanksgiving type ones for the American demonstrators and customers. If you're particularly wanting Halloween, go to the online exclusives. That's where most of the Halloween stuff is. So if you want Halloween stamp sets, have a look at the online exclusives. There's not Halloween in this catalogue. Okay. So, thank you for watching. Let's just see if I can come back here. Yay! So, there's my Polar Express card. I really hope you like it. It's using the Winter Meadow Designer Series paper. So if you want that paper, it's 15% off now at the moment until the end of August. The train set, the stamp set, is in the online exclusives. So if you want the paper and the stamp set, go to my online store and grab the paper while it's discounted and grab yourself the stamp set. The stamp set is, oops, sorry, that was loud, $39 in Australia. So it's not a very dear stamp set. $39, and you'll get that beautiful steam train that you can make lots of masculine cards and Christmas cards. So thank you for watching, everyone. I hope you have a great week. I will see you on Wednesday for Card and a Cuppa at 3 o'clock. Until then, enjoy your start of your week. Bye for now.